Hey folks, welcome to the 2021, my first edition of Posi-TIPS with Rachelle for the year. Happy New Year, folks. It is great to be back here with you on another Posi-TIPS episode here in this new year, 2021. I hope your year is off to an awesome start, and I hope that we can all look back in hindsight and realize how much growth occurred, personal, professional, spiritual, you name it, all types of growth that have occurred in our lives as a result of the challenges, the unprecedented challenges of the coronavirus pandemic. And so I always say, it is often said, and I'm one of the people that's always saying it, that we grow the most during seasons of adversity and the valleys of life. When times are hard, those are the times that we grow, our characters developed, our maturity, our level increases, compassion, humility, all of that. If we are open and willing to allow the difficulties, the adversities to enact and just cause essentially positive changes in our lives. So folks, here we are in 2021. What do you have in store for this year? Is your year off to a great start? Did you set some New Year's goals? Did you make some New Year's decisions? I often tell people New Year's resolutions are one thing, but I often encourage folks to make New Year's decisions. I've talked about this in past years of Posi-TIPS, because why? We make decisions, particularly decisions towards positive change. It is not going to be easy. It is not going to be easy, but a resolution, people say, oh, well, I want to do this. I want to have this particular change in my life. And then after day one, when times are tough, when things get hard, then all of a sudden that resolution is gone, or just thrown essentially to the side. But no, what we want to do is make New Year's decisions and continue to reinforce and to support those New Year's decisions throughout the course of the year. That way, when we make decisions, like I'll just utilize myself as an example. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I mean, I used to, back in the day, I made New Year's resolutions just like most people. But I just recognize that when I make a decision, I'm a very decisive person, generally speaking. And so just by nature, it's easy for me to just make a decision. But when I make that decision, I realize there's a lot more behind that decision than a resolution. Because when I'm making a decision, I'm focused on the future, I'm focused on the goal, I'm focused on the steps that I need to take in order to reach that goal, in order to make things happen. Whatever the particular goal or decisions that I've made, I'm taking positive steps throughout the appropriate time frame to make things happen. Yes, it may take some things longer, may take us longer to achieve some goals than others. Yes, that will happen. But the bottom line is, we can't take our focus off the prize. We cannot take our focus off the prize, because 2021 has the potential to be an awesome year. Awesome year. But it starts with us. We have to make a decision. And actually, from a basic fundamental level, we have to believe that 2021 can be a great year. But we take a step deeper. We dig a little deeper there. We have to believe that we deserve great things in our lives. We have to believe that we deserve great relationships, things professionally, personally, all of that. Because truly, if we don't believe we deserve good things, guess what? Good things are not going to happen in our lives. It just unfortunately becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And we don't want any of that. We don't want mediocrity in our life. We don't want negative status quo. We don't want any of that. We want positivity. We want good things. We want awesome goals that we are working every day, working hard to achieve, and great people in our lives. It is possible, but it starts with us, folks. So let's make a decision. I wanted to kick off this first episode here of the year with just to implore you, if you haven't already, just to make some strong, serious, easy to reinforce decisions throughout this year that you're going to remain committed to, you're not going to give up on, no matter how tough things may be, because life isn't easy. But many things, and actually research has shown this, that oftentimes when things are attained too easily, then a person is less likely to appreciate them. So when we fight tooth and nail to achieve our goals, when we maintain a spirit of perseverance despite any adversity we face, those are the things, when we reach the other side, those are the times and those are the things that we truly relish and truly enjoy, and just are just so grateful of that we hung in there and made those things happen. So folks, I'm going to kick off a new series next week. Stay tuned for that. I can't wait. But just wanted to drop in, say hello, see how you've been. I have missed you. I actually went to Louisiana for the holidays. So I left here driving on the 15th of December, drove down to Shreveport, Louisiana to see my parents for the holidays, and returned here. I flew back on the 17th of January. Such an interesting experience. I'm probably the flying part, and I realized when I got back, but see, that's when we think about with some of the benefits of the coronavirus, unfortunately, I mean, there was a lot of tragedy, a lot of death, a lot of struggle, a lot of heartache, not minimizing that, not talking about that, but what I'm talking about is, in all seasons of adversity, if we allow it, we can look and say, how did I grow? What silver linings came in spite of the hard times in this country and around the world? How did I grow? How did I develop? How was my character improved or enhanced in that experience? How creative? How was I more? Was I just as a result of some of the constraints of the coronavirus pandemic? How was I able to be more creative? Was I able to make things happen that maybe not have happened otherwise? Like for me, for all these different years, I always flew to Louisiana. Didn't think twice about it. But as a result of the coronavirus pandemic and having two high-risk parents, I made the decision to drive not one time. So I drove in June, drove again in September. Those both were round trip, and this holiday trip I actually drove there and flew back. Flew the unfriendly skies. If anyone has flown lately, you may have noticed, as I did, it's been a long time since I've flown, that it's definitely a unique experience. For just in many different respects, but won't get into all of that. But I realized that I really enjoy driving. That making that 1,100 mile each way trip, driving to Louisiana, I just enjoy. I'm just by nature, I like to be challenged. So I realized I really enjoy the challenge of driving versus flying to Louisiana. So that was very, very interesting type of insight that I gained. But I'm just glad that I did whatever I had to do to get down there and help my parents out and to make things happen in that regard. And so we all can look back on 2020 and say, okay, just how did that year impact me, my family, my life, personally, professionally, all of that. I mean, I can look back and just say, man, I mean, I really grew a lot last year. And I'm just grateful for those opportunities. And that's why a lot of people, I think, if you're a Debbie Downer or a negative Ned type person and you don't like adversity, and most people don't, but I really relish seasons of hardship and difficulty because I just recognize on a deep level I'm about to do some serious growing. So not minimizing, once again, I want to clarify that, any hardships, difficulties that anyone is going through or has gone through in the past year or any other year. But just recognize, folks, if we dig down deep, we will look back and say, wow, that year really, really molded me into a new person. It just really enhanced the person that I am. So I was gone for a while, so I am back here in Michigan, and I'm going to be kicking off, like I said, a new series next week. So stay tuned for that, folks. But until then, remember, I am positively passionate about your happiness and success. Make it a great